What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and welcome back to another recorded tournament series. This time it's going to be the top 8 match of a recent League Cup that we got to go attend, and we are going to upload a top 4 match and a finals match as well, so definitely stay tuned for those in the future too. So for this League Cup, it was in Wilmington, North Carolina at Cape Fear Games, and this is actually going to be the Worlds format before rotation, so that means cards all the way from Primal Clash up to Burning Shadows are going to be legal for this event. So on the left you actually have yours truly, and I'm going to be playing a Decidueye variant, and then we have Chip Ritchie, who is a fellow YouTuber, aka Trainer Chip, over there on the right. He's going to be playing Vespiquen. So this is kind of a cool little send-off to both these decks before the rotation kicks in. And it's kind of weird to say that Decidueye is not going to be around, but because a Forest of Giant Plants rotating, this might be its last chance to shine here. So I'm not sure who won the coin flip. I do forget. But looking at my hand, it looks like I have a pretty solid start. I have Forest of Giant Plants, Decidueye, Level Ball, Ultra Ball. So definitely a pretty good opening hand on my part there. And so this matchup could go a couple of ways. You know, on paper, Decidueye seems like it's very strong against Vespiquen because it plays a lot of these low HP, you know, Pokemon that can get picked off easily by things like Feather Arrows and Tapu Koko, and stuff like that. But Chip also does play a Flareon in his list, and if he is able to get that in play, that will definitely kind of turn the tables in his favor. Once he gets out that Flareon that makes all of his Vespiquens and Stage 1 Pokemon Fire type, he'll be, you know, pretty easily able to take out a Decidueye GX in one hit. So I think it's going to come down to that. If he can get out the Flareon, I think he'll be in an okay spot. If not, I think I'm actually going to be the favored in this matchup here. So, I guess we're just waiting for the other top cut matches to get set up. That way we can all start at once. But here we are going to finally start the match. And, okay, I am going first, so I definitely have a pretty strong opening hand. We have the Forest of Giant Plants here. Gonna Ultra Ball away. I guess we could get rid of this Decidueye, since we have that Revitalizer in hand and a Field Blower. So, you know, I could grab a Dartrix, but we're not going to really have anything left in our hand afterwards, so I'm probably going to go for a Shaman EX or maybe a Tapu Lele GX in order to keep drawing cards for the rest of the turn. So here, while I'm searching my deck, I'm just going to take a peek and see what all is in the deck and what all is prized. Just kind of a good habit to get into at these tournaments. That way you can kind of have an idea of what's in your deck for the rest of the game. Here looks like I'm favoring the Tapu Lele GX, and that's because I can already get a Decidueye GX in play in one turn, so I really don't feel the need to really dig especially hard with a Shaman. So I'd rather just go for the Tapu Lele. It's a much beefier bench sitter than the Shaman, so I'd rather just have that in play than a Shaman. So I'm going to play this Revitalizer, getting back Decidueye, and then we'll probably put the Floatstone there and Sycamore. So definitely a very strong opening turn so far. Unfortunately, my hand afterwards is not that great. You know, on the plus side though, I do have a double Carlos Energy and a Guzma, so that means if Chip is able to get down something like an Eevee, I will be able to take a knockout on it. So we should be able to survive for at least a turn or so with this hand. And here it looks like Chip is going to Ultra Ball away a Versus Seeker and a Zoroark, so most likely we will see maybe a Tapu Lele or a Shaman just to help him dig through the deck a little bit. But it looks like he's favoring or, you know, leaning towards grabbing a Tapu Lele and an N here. So maybe Chip has some resources in his hand that he just can't afford to Sycamore away at this point in the game. So let's say he is going to grab the Tapu Lele and he is going to grab that N. And he has the Eevee, so that's pretty good too. So he is going to play the N. A little unfortunate for me because even though my hand wasn't the greatest, I did have a way to actually take out that Eevee. So it's a little bittersweet. But hopefully I'll at least have a draw supporter in this new hand, if nothing else. So let's see, Chip, it looks like I think he did get a Combee. So he's going to play Farewell Letter, Unknown's ability. Okay, so he has the Combi. He's going to evolve immediately into it with Vespiquen because of that Forest of Giant Plants I put into play. And here he's playing a Parallel City. That's probably a card he wants to save to get rid of Shamans from his field, but he probably just wants to get rid of that forest in play from my side and prevent me from taking advantage. But here I use Trainer's Wheel and grab another Forest of Giant Plants right away. So, and my hand's actually pretty solid too. I have a Rowlet, Dartrix, I believe. But here, let's Trainer's Wheel one more time. If we can get an Ultra Ball, that would be great. Just a Floatstone. I might opt not to get it just because we already have one Floatstone in play. There's really not a need for another one right now. If we put down both of the ones that are in the deck too early, Chip could potentially use Field Blower and get rid of both of them, and I wouldn't have access to any more throughout the rest of the game. So here I'm going to bench the Rowlet and evolve into Dartrix immediately. And I have a choice band, and I'm opting to put it on this Tapu Lele GX and then just Sycamore. Okay, I definitely have some options. I could play down my hand and dig to try to hit another Decidueye, but I really don't want to bench the Shaman, and I don't want to bench the Espeon until I can actually make use of it. So here I have some options. I can use this double colorless energy to take a knockout on Shaman, but honestly, I really don't want to. As long as the Shaman's in the active spot, that's going to force Chip to have something like a Floatstone or a Guzma in order to get it out of the active spot and attack with Vespiquen in the same turn. So I think what I might actually do is, I might use this turn to actually use Hollow Hunt GX to get some resources back into my hand. And, you know, kind of force him to have this Shaman stranded for a turn while I continue to set up. Okay, so here I'm going to attach return to this bench Dartrix. And yep, we're just going to Hollow Hunt GX here. I'm not sure if I had a supporter in hand or not, so I might opt to grab that Sycamore that was in there. I definitely want this Ultra Ball though, because I want to be able to get this to get another Decidueye online. Here I'm opting to grab this Revitalizer just in case Chip does have some sort of Guzma shenanigans to make use of. So I'm going to do that. That seems pretty solid to me. Okay, so here Chip is going to be able to get that that Flareon in play. So again, this is a good example of why I did not want to get rid of that Shaman, because he would have been able to hit me with Vespiquen instead. Okay, but here I'm actually really excited about my board position because I will be able to just Guzma up this Flareon and take a knockout on it. So let's see though. So I need to. This is something I'm actually really bad about. It's like doing the whole Guzma and retreating thing in the correct order. So here you can see I'm like just thinking really hard about it. It's like, okay, yeah, I need to retreat first, then play the Guzma. Because I've caught myself like doing it in the wrong order before. So, but here I'm going to attach that double colorless energy, and I'm going to play this Ultra Ball, it looks like. So getting rid of a grass energy and maybe, I guess the Field Blower. We could use that to get rid of a Choice Band or something, but I don't think it's too crucial in this particular matchup. So here I'm going to grab a second Decidueye, and I have to say I'm in a very, very good spot at this point, I think, because I can put 4 damage counters on the Vespiquen and potentially knock it out with like an Espeon EX de-evolve like type of shenanigans next turn if I choose to, or just with a Tapu Lele GX if I get a DCE or something like that. So yeah, I'm definitely liking my position right now. You know, Chip is going to do more damage for every Pokemon that does hit his discard pile, but you know, overall, like I said, I'm feeling pretty good about the situation that we're in right now. But it looks like he might be favoring attacking with Tapu Lele GX this turn. He has the Choice Band on it and a double colorless energy. And here he's going to play Twins, or not Twins, I'm sorry, Teammates. I'm thinking of the old Twins from Heart Gold Soul Silver. But here, since one of his Pokemon did get knocked out on my last turn, he gets to search his deck for any 2 cards. Definitely very good in these one prize attacker decks. So I'm imagining we might see like an Eevee and maybe like a Rescue Stretcher to get back another Eevee. That could be a good play. I didn't get a good look at his hand, so maybe if he doesn't have a supporter for next turn, that could be an option for him as well. Just depends. So it looks like he might have decided on his 2 cards here. So I can see the Eevee in his hand. He definitely wants one of those to try to set up a Flareon. Okay, so let's see what the other card is. I am curious about that. So I think it might have been a Zorua. Okay. And here he is going to use Energy Drive on Tapu Lele GX. So it's definitely going to put a dent in this Decidueye. Let's see. Okay, so I draw a Force of Giant Plants. I don't really need that. So I have some options here. If I have... I really wish I had Acerola right now. That would actually be amazing. So I have a Floatstone. I could put that down on this bench Decidueye. Can I take a knockout on this Lele this turn? That's one thing I am wondering as well. I don't believe I'd be able to. I would need like a Choice Band and 3 Feather Arrows, I believe. Here I'm going to retreat. Oh, and I actually have Versus Secret in my hand. Okay, so I'll be able to pick off this other Eevee. And, you know, do I want to play anything else from my hand? I'm not really sure. You know, I don't have a supporter for next turn necessarily, but, you know, I think I'm okay with this. You know, I can kind of play off of the current board state that I have. And here I'm going to play down that Floatstone just in case we get hit with an N or something like that, just because I am starting to, you know, take a decent amount of prizes. Okay, so Chip is going to get down a Zoroark here. And I'm going to imagine that this Decidueye will get knocked out this turn. I would assume this Tapu Lele is going to come up and swing on us. And okay, so what is Chip going to opt to do here? Okay, so he is, looks like favoring the Shaman to attack with this turn. He probably realizes if he puts that Lele active, it could get knocked out. He needs a Choice Band though, in order to finish taking a knockout on this Decidueye, because right now it has 190 damage and you know, has 240 hit points, so he is going to need the Choice Band in order to finish taking a knockout. So here he's going to evolve into another Vespiquen. Okay, he's going to Ultra Ball away. It looks like an Ultra Ball and a Tapu Koko, probably just to thin some cards out of his hand here. If I had to guess, he's probably playing his hand down. That way he can use Oranguru's Instruct. So if he does miss the Choice Band, that would actually be big for us here. He is going to Acrobatic, digging through his deck a little bit more. Here's just checking, I guess, what all Pokemon he has in the discard currently. So he has a few in there, but he's not doing a crazy amount of damage with Vespiquen just yet. He is going to have to rely on this Tapu Lele here. So that is unfortunate. He had to attach the double Carlos to the Shaman and was not able to take a knockout with it in the same turn. But here, I'm actually feeling really good because I have that Revitalizer in my hand. We can definitely get back this Decidueye line. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to get back the Rowlet, play the Dartrix from my hand, and then that Decidueye we got back as well. So this is definitely just a game that's been really great in our favor so far. So it looks like I'm going to throw down a Choice Band there. I could play this Shaman. I really don't want to, but I might have to. I need a double Carlos Energy this turn. So, okay. I do have a Rescue Stretcher. I could play that as well. But here, I'm going to opt to save the Espeon. It's not a card I really want to bench. Especially now that he has Zoroark in play. I don't want to bench unnecessary Pokemon if possible. But here, I'm going to Level Ball, grabbing a Rowlet. And just going to check what all is still left in my deck at this point. And actually, I can do some pretty cool stuff here this turn. I have Rescue Stretcher, so I can grab my my last Decidueye here. Or I'm sorry, my last Dartrix, I think it is. I don't think I have another one at the time. Or not left in my deck at least. But here I'm going to grab Dartrix. And here I'm in kind of a difficult position. I could have Ultra Ball to get out another Decidueye, but I would have had to get rid of my Espeon EX, and that I think is just a card that might be too valuable in this matchup. So here I'm just going to choose to, keep it in the deck, just in case we want to do some de-evolving shenanigans at some point. Okay, and I do hit the double Carlos energy, so that's actually really, really good here. And I have Ultra Ball in my hand. I could, go for the Decidueye. I could maybe even save the Ultra Ball for Espeon EX for next turn. But here I'm just trying to think, who do I actually want to put the double Carlos energy onto for this turn? And it looks like I'm going to favor the Tapu Lele GX. So I can put some damage counters onto this active. And then I can use Energy Drive to finish and knocking it out. Because right now I believe I'm hitting for 110. So I'm going to do that. So here I could have put some damage on the Vespiquen. It would be easier to knock out a Vespiquen with Espeon EX than Zoroark, but the reason I'm putting it on Zoroark instead is in case I get in and I won't have access to grabbing the Espeon. I want to have an answer to this Zoroark and be able to easily knock it out with an Energy Drive potentially. So Chip's definitely in a little bit of a tricky situation. I think he definitely needs to end me this turn, though. I think that would be good. So he's going to get a Choice Band down, double Carlos energy on Vespiquen. And this Tapu Lele could go down this turn. I'm not sure how many Pokemon he has in the discard pile, but I think it's a decent amount at this point. So he's doing a base damage of 50 with the Choice Band and Be Revenge, so he just needs, 12 Pokemon in the discard pile? I'm not sure how many are actually in there, though. Okay, he is going to go for Vespiquen. I would imagine we'll see an N here. Teammates could be an option as well, but I think N might be a safer play since my hand size is getting a little bit large there. Or he looks like he's eyeing down a Guzma actually as well, so that could be an option for him. Okay, so it looks like he is favoring that, maybe to take an easy knockout on Shaman. Okay, but it looks like he is going to go for the N instead. So I think it's good that I'll lower my hand size. Might allow him a way to get some more Pokemon in the discard pile as well. Alrighty, so let's see what Chip gets here. Okay, so he has a double Carlos energy, a rescue stretcher. Nothing too crazy. He could try to play down his hand a little bit to draw some more cards with a Rangaru's Instruct. But another play he could do is he could just Sky Return to soften up this Tapu Lele. I think that's a potential play he could go for as well. And here he's going to do that since I don't think he had enough damage or enough Pokemon in the discard pile to knock out this Tapu Lele. But actually, I think I had a pretty decent hand. I have Lysander here. So let's see. Do I have a way to take a knockout already? I'm not sure. I think I need to Sycamore here. I don't think a Guzma would win me this right now, unfortunately. Here you can tell I'm just kind of analyzing Chip's board a little bit, trying to figure out like what my best play here is. Here, oh, okay, I do have the Espeon, so all I need is an energy, and we can actually just win right here. Awesome, so I draw the double Carlos energy, and here I'm going to put 4 damage counters onto that Vespiquen and use Espeon's Miraculous Shine attack to de-evolve all of his Pokemon, knocking out those Combees that are left. Okay, so I am going to take the first game in the series. But this is best 2 out of 3 though, so Chip definitely has a chance to come back. I was very fortunate being able to knock out Flareon, every time, if Chip got an Eevee down or anything like that. So again, if he can manage to make the Flareon stick for a couple turns and take a knockout with it, or, thanks to the effect of its ability, I think he'll be in a fine spot. He just has to make sure he can get it out quick enough before I can take it out. So, and also in a best 2 out of 3 series like this, the loser of each game gets to choose who goes first. So more than likely, Chip is going to choose to go first and try to get set up a little bit more before I can. Okay, so let's see. He has a Zorua. He's probably going to start with that. That seems okay. And here I am going to mulligan. And one thing that is worth mentioning about my deck, if you have not guessed by now, this is actually just straight Decidueye. I'm not playing Vileplume, I'm not playing Alolan Ninetales or anything like that. I decided to kind of just like cut all of the extra bells and whistles and just try to concentrate on getting out Decidueyes as quick as possible, and also being able to do like cute tricks like de-evolve, you know, my opponent's Pokemon, you know, once I've spread enough damage. Okay, so we're going to get game 2 underway, and I am starting with Tapu Koko, which is by far the best starter of this entire deck. Definitely a very good attacker against this Vespiquen deck too, because putting 20 on everything with its flying flip attack can really start to set up a lot of Pokemon to be de-evolved with Espeon's Miraculous Shine. So we're going to see a Tapu Lele GX come down. I'm thinking we might see an N. It looks like that's what Chip is favoring. He has a lot of resources in his hand, so he might not be able to actually Sycamore them all away. So he's probably also just checking what all is in his deck, see if there's anything else crucial that got prized. So he's going to throw down that Double Colorless Energy and Choice Band. Putting down the Combi, he's probably afraid in case I get like double Decidueye or Decidueye Tapu Koko attack. But yeah, I think it's probably okay to put one on the board. Worst case scenario, it gets knocked out, and you know, it makes your Vespiquens do more damage. So shuffling his deck there, I did see an Eevee that is in his deck, so I'm sure Chip will be trying to find that as quick as possible. Okay, so he does have an Ultra Ball. We see an Unknown as well. So he's going to Ultra Ball away a Shaman EX, and let's see what else. Looks like a Teammates. That seems like a great target. Put it in the discard pile so we can use it later with Verse Seeker. So Chip is getting an Eevee, and he's actually having a pretty, you know, decent start. He's got his Combi down. He's got an Eevee down. He's got a Tapu Lele that's like getting a little bit powered up as well. So definitely a good first turn so far on Chip's part. And he does have an Unknown in his hand. I would imagine we might see him play that and use its ability. Okay, he is opting to save it. I guess there's nothing else he really wants this turn. But here, I gotta say, I have a pretty solid hand. I have an Ultra Ball. I'm gonna get rid of a Choice Band and maybe this Grass Energy, because I really prefer a Double Colorless this turn to attack with Tapu Koko. So what am I going to do here? It looks like I might be thinking about Shaman to try to dig through my deck a little bit and try to, you know, just dig and set up and try to get a Double Colorless Energy, try to get the Decidueye out. So here, I'm taking a look and seeing what all is in my deck. I think I saw Espeon in there. I'm not sure if Tapu Lele is. I'm not sure if I saw it. But it looks like I am favoring the Shaman in this case. I like that. I forget what else I had in my hand, but again, I'm probably playing Shaman just to try to dig through my deck as quick as possible. Okay, so I have 2 Rowlets. Okay, this is actually pretty good here. I'm going to evolve into Dartrix and a Level Ball. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I am going to play the Level Ball to get a Dartrix. So this is definitely a super solid turn 1. If I can manage to get, a Double Colorless Energy and 1 Decidueye, I'll actually be in a really good spot, I think. So here I'm going to grab Tapu Lele, favoring the Professor Sycamore in this instance. So I'd imagine between all these cards, I would have a decent chance of drawing into a Double Colorless Energy. I'm not sure if my other Shaman is in the deck or not, but that is an option as well. Okay, so here I have another Level Ball. So I'm actually, I don't have any Decidueyes, but my board is actually pretty well developed at this point. And you can kind of see when you're not playing stuff like Vileplume or Ninetales, you can kind of commit all your resources into just getting out your Decidueyes. That is the one kind of cool thing about this variant here. And I could play Trainer's Mail to try to go for, an Ultra Ball or something like that, but I'd rather save it to try to dig for a supporter on my next turn. Up here I'm just going to do Flying Flip. Great attack. It's going to soften up a lot of Chip's Pokemon. Does 20 damage to each of them. So he's going to attach a Double Colorless Energy to his Zorua and Sycamore. Maybe he's going to try to go for a Zoroark and take out this Tapu Koko. So he's going to use that Farewell Letter ability, discarding Unknown to draw a card yet again. Okay, so he does hit the Ultra Ball. That's kind of unfortunate because if I could get two flying flips off with this Tapu Koko, that would actually be amazing. But nevertheless, we got the one off. It's kind of like a feather arrow to everything. So here, Chip's going to discard a Field Blower. I am happy to see that hit the discard pile. And what else? Looks like he's a little bit conflicted here about what he needs to get rid of. And it looks like he might be thinking about Peril City. So let's see. Yeah, he is going to get rid of the Peril City. I'm actually really glad about that too, because that will, Peril City is a bad card against my deck. Either way that the card faces, it's kind of bad. It limits. Bleh, I'm getting tongue tied here, guys. It limits my bench space. So that's bad, but then also if he faces it the other way, it could reduce my damage output with Decidueye. So I'm definitely happy to see that hit the discard pile. But here Zoroark is going to take a knockout on this Tapu Koko. And I might be able to just promote Tapu Lele, and if I get a double Kairos energy, I can just do Energy Drive for the knockout here. So I'm going to Trainer's Mail. I don't think there was anything in there I really needed to get. Oh, Versus Seeker, so that actually could be good. Well, actually, in hindsight, no, maybe I think N will be better here. I really don't want to Sycamore away my Rescue Stretcher and my Revitalizer. But here I'm going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of Acerola, and I could get rid of another Grass Energy, but I don't play that many, so that might be kind of bad if I have to do that, but we'll see. I can always Hollow Hunt to get some stuff back, but it looks like I'm favoring getting rid of the Rescue Stretcher here. And so I'll probably grab a Decidueye, and then we'll just see an N. So I could have attached the Grass Energy, but I really want to try to get a double Colorless Energy instead, just so we can take a knockout on this Zoroark. And if I can get another Decidueye, that will be perfect because we can use two Feather Arrows to actually knock out this Eevee that's on the bench too. Okay, so nice. I do get the double Kairos energy. We need an Ultra Ball, and I hit the Ultra Ball off the Trainer's Mail. That's actually pretty big here. So yeah, I definitely want to get that. I'm probably just thinking, what do I actually want to discard here? Gonna get rid of the Sycamore and the Choice Band. Choice Band especially is not too relevant. It could hit that Tapu Lele for some more damage, but against most Pokemon, it's not going to be too great. But here, yeah, I'm definitely going to get this other Decidueye. Like I said, we'll be able to spread enough damage to take out this Eevee. So definitely a very, very important turn here. And I have no Dartrix. I did not even see that. So here we're going to knock out this Eevee, like I said, and then we can use Energy Drive to take a knockout on this Zoroark. Okay, so Chip is going to promote a Combee. So let's see how he is going to respond this turn. So he has a decent amount of Pokemon in the discard pile. If he's able to get like a Choice Band on his and evolve into Vespiquen, maybe get a couple more Pokemon in the discard pile, and is able to knock out this Lele, that could be bad. But even still, I kind of like the spot that I'm currently in. If I can get Espeon EX down, I mean, that alone can kind of steal us the rest of the game potentially. But here Chip is going to play that Revitalizer, getting his Vespiquen out of his discard pile. Here's going to Ultra Ball a Lele and a Guzma. So let's see what he's going to opt to grab. Maybe that second Eevee, that could be a good choice as well. And he looks like he's contemplating an Unknown, but here he is going for the Eevee. I definitely think that is best. So maybe we'll see an N here. That seems good. That'll refill his hand to 6, I believe it is. Oh no, 5, since he did knock out the Tapu Koko. So he'll get 5 cards, I'll get 4. And if I can find another Decidueye this turn, that would be pretty epic too, I won't lie. Again, if we can just keep taking out these Eevees and just attacking whatever's in the active spot every turn, I think we'll be good to go. So, oh, he accidentally drew one too many cards. So the judge had him reveal it and put it back on the top of his deck. So he is going to bench another Combi. And does he have Vespiquen? Okay, he does have a Vespiquen. I'm not sure if I like that play just because leaving the other Combi on the bench does make it susceptible to an easy knockout from Feather Arrow. But maybe Chip's actually doing that to bait the knockout on Combi instead of Eevee. So we'll just have to see here. So I have a couple of energy in my hand. What do I want to do? Do I attach the Grass Energy? Do I attach the Double Colorless Energy and take a knockout on this Tapu Lele? Because if we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, that would actually not be a knockout on this active Lele. So maybe I should just be content like two-shotting this thing. I do have Vespiquen in hand, so I could play a Acerola here as well. So here I'm just kind of contemplating all of my options. I definitely have a lot of different ways I could go here. But if I play Acerola, I won't be able to play like a Sycamore or anything like that, but I might even still favor that. So here it looks like I am going to opt to attach the Double Colorless Energy to Decidueye. And I'm going to play Vespiquen for Sycamore, discarding my hand. And honestly, I probably should have played the Field Blower first. I think that was definitely a misplay. I think I forgot to do that. But here, you know, I'm in a pretty good spot. I really wanted to get that third Decidueye so I can take a knockout on that Eevee. That's going to be the important thing. If this, you know, if this Tapu Lele goes down, so be it. I'm not too worried about that. So let's just see. Just want to check what all Chip has used at this point. Okay, I have a Floatstone in hand, so yeah, I just want to make sure, you know, I want to see how many Field Blowers Chip has used so far in the game. So here I'm just going to do Energy Drive for 80 damage. And Chip will be able to take a knockout here, but I think I'm still going to be in an okay spot though. So he really needs to get either a Zoroark or a whatchamacallit, a Vespiquen in play, because I could potentially take 3 prizes in one turn, but here, you know, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I need a Lele here. That would actually be an easy way to respond with a knockout, or a Grass Energy would be good as well. Or I'm trying to think. So here I am going to take a knockout on that bench Combi. So now all I have to do is knock out this Tapu Lele, and that will be the rest of the game. So just checking what all I've used at this point. If I can get a Grass Energy, that will be kind of like the end of this, I think. But here it looks like I'm opting to attach to Shaman. Here I'm just going to play N, putting us both at kind of a low hand size. I'm actually very content just playing off the field that I currently have. You know, I can just clean up knockouts with Decidueye, and also I'm going to get this Shaman back in my hand at the end of my turns. Even though I'm getting a low hand size, I'm going to get this Shaman back, and I'll be able to draw cards. Oh, and was that a knockout? Oh, well, I guess I did my math wrong because we still had 2 other Feather Arrows left over. So I don't even know why I had to play the end there. So 2 Feather Arrows is 40, then the Sky Return is 30, just enough to knock out Tapu Lele. So that means I am going to take the top 8 match here. I am going to advance to top 4. Definitely stick around for that. We have that and a finals match coming up. So like I said, stay tuned for those. But yeah, as usual, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you can support us by picking up something from our online store at rarecandytcg.com or supporting us on our Patreon/rarecandytcg, it'd mean a lot to us. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one.